All right, hello there, friends. It is Jimmie Maverick, and we are going to do a mock draft tonight. It is June 13th, and we are going to be on the Yahoo draft board. We are picking 8th in a 12-team league. We're right there. They're loading the draft in right now. And we're going to use my app, My Perfect Fantasy Draft, to find the best players and pick a great team, and I'm going to show you how it works. Now, to access my app, you have to go to my website, fantasyfootballmaverick.com. That's where the app is located, and you can access this app from any web-connected device. It does scale to whatever size screen you're on, so if you want to open it up on your phone or your tablet while you're running your draft on your computer, you can do that. It's very flexible. We're just going to flip screens between these two and make our decisions. Now, in Yahoo, they are half-point PPR in their mock draft. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a half-point PPR. And then, do you want to engage Jimmie's recommended player filters? We are going to say yes. And then we are going to enter draft mode. So what this does is this is going to break the list down round by round. It's going to show you all the players, like in the first round, it's going to show you all the players between your first pick and your second pick. But instead of being sorted by draft position or some arbitrary ranking, I've created what I call the VORC score. VORC stands for Value, Outlook, Reliability, and Consistency. Now, the player list you'll see is down here. You know what? I'm going to minimize this for right now. Here's the list of players, right? And here are the value column, the outlook column, the reliability, and the consistency. Based on how they do on these 4 columns, they score points. And so you can see how many points they score over here. Up at the top, you've got position filters. So if you want to look at a specific position, you can do that. And then up here, these are the draft mode tabs. This is every round of your draft. All right. So we're just going to click on the first round of the draft. And we are going to see, let me just jump back to here, and I think I need to minimize this a little bit so you guys can see the whole screen. There we go, 45 seconds till the draft starts. So what is the app recommending for us for the first round? Well, if we look at half-point PPR, the top 3 players, based on the VORC score, how many VORC points they've scored, are Davante Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, and Travis Kelce. Now, there is someone at the very top of the list, Alvin Kamara, who has this little gun next to him. That means he's a long shot. Our chances of getting him are less than 50-50. Given that we are pick number 8 and Kamara is pick number 4, our chances of getting him are maybe 10%, right? We're probably not going to get him. I'm not going to worry about that. But I do like the idea of going with Davante Adams or DeAndre Hopkins with our first pick. I think that's rock solid. Travis Kelce, a bit expensive. I would not take him in the first round, even though he is highly rated here. And I have won fantasy football with taking a tight end first. I have done that. It was with Gronkowski 4 seasons ago when he was still in his prime, but I don't see any reason why Travis Kelce couldn't give you a week-to-week position dominance that you want. Now, it looks like the draft has started. They are starting to take their players, and you can see Davante Adams right here, and you can see DeAndre Hopkins right here. He might be gone by the time he gets to us. Now, what about these running backs? Well, you know, the running backs, of course, we're talking elite level running backs, right? And if we use the running back filter, you can see that the one that this app likes the most is Joe Mixon. And I think Joe Mixon is a fine choice, right? He will probably not make it back to our next pick. He gets 40 points, 40 VORC points. But if you compare that to what someone like Davante Adams gets, 58 VORC points. Why does he get so many more, right? Well, first of all, if we look, let's see, can we see them both on the screen here? There's Mixon down here. Here's Adams up here. Let me just jump back and see where we're at. We're getting closer. So Kamara, his value rank is 4th, right? Mixon's value rank is 13th. So he's not as valuable. He's not going to score as many points, right? Next up, Davante Adams gets 4 stars on his outlook. Joe Mixon gets 5, so Joe Mixon gets more points for that. Davante Adams has high reliability. Joe Mixon has medium reliability. Okay, so that means that Davante Adams scores more points. And then as far as consistency, they're about the same. Davante Adams gets a 9. Joe Mixon gets an 8. That's out of 10, by the way, so those are both excellent numbers. But I think probably the big difference here is the value and the reliability. So it's to us. Let's see. And DeAndre Hopkins is still sitting there, although Davante Adams is slightly better, right? I think that Davante Adams has more touchdowns in him than DeAndre Hopkins does. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to take Adams as our first pick. And let's jump to the second round and see who is available. So in the second round, you can see that the app is recommending Mike Evans, Adam Thielen, and George Kittle. Now, running backs, I think we should look at. Now, Joe Mixon is a long shot. If Joe Mixon happens to make it to us, I would absolutely take him in the second round. Who else is right here? Damian Williams also, again, 37 work points. It's good. He's a good player. Anyone that gets around 40 points in my book on a round is a good choice at a minimum, right? So I like the idea. Maybe we take Damian Williams. You got Dalvin Cook here as well. They're almost the same VORC score. Of course, my biggest concern with Dalvin Cook is that low reliability ranking. But his upside, his value is much higher. Look at the value. Damian Williams, 20th. Dalvin Cook is 11th. So we're saying that Dalvin Cook has RB1 upside. So I'd really like to get that. I think if I had to rank this, I'd go Mixon first, Williams second, Dalvin Cook third, right? And that's really what we need to do. We need to take a running back with this pick because you want to have an elite running back on your team. It is almost back to us. Mixon is here. If Brandon doesn't take him, I will get him, right? We'll see what happens. Like I said, long shot, 50-50 shot. Joe Mixon is available. See, that's part of the great thing about this app, man. It's going to show you, if you want to gamble, we gambled. We won that time, all right? But that doesn't always happen. And if you really want the guy, you should take him that round earlier. We should have maybe taken him in the first round and then gotten our wide receiver in the second round. I'm not disappointed at all, though. I like Adams. I like Mixon. I think it's a great start to our team. So let's go to the third round and see what's happening here, okay? So in the third round, recommended players, Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Patrick Mahomes. All right, so if we wanted to go quarterback early and take the best quarterback in the league, arguably by anybody, Mahomes is that person, this is when we would need to take him, third round. I personally would never spend a third round pick on a quarterback, so I think we're going to bypass that. Certainly the Los Angeles Rams is an elite offense. These are elite receivers. They are both excellent, excellent choices. We can also look at running backs. Let's see what running backs are available this round. Well, Damian Williams is a long shot. Maybe we'll luck out again. I would love to get Damian Williams if he is available, right? You got Marlon Mack right below him. And then notice how the VORC scores really fall off a cliff here, man. Jumps down to 11, and then you got negative scores down here. These negative scores are typically caused because they're poor values, right? I mean, I think Josh Jacobs is in a good situation, and I think he's going to be good this year, but his value rank is 50th. And we're going to have to spend our number 32 pick on a guy that's only worth 50th. That's not the kind of player you want to put on your team. It's just bad placement, right? But that's when Josh Jacobs is going. So we don't want to take him. But like I said, Williams, if he's still available, absolutely. Marlon Mack's a good choice too. I like the idea of getting another running back in the third round. I mean, I do like Cooks and Woods as well, but I really think we need to make sure we have a strong running back core. So let's jump back to the app and see where we're at. It is still a few picks away from us. So I'm going to just pause, and then I'll come back when we're within 3. All right, so we're back, and it's progressing. You can see Damian Williams and Marlon Mack are both still on here. I've queued them both up. But like I said, I think Damian Williams, obviously, that offense, elite level offense, he will be very productive. Okay, so, oh, and look at that. Somebody just took him. Remember? Long shot. 50-50 shot. We gambled and won with Mixon. We lost with Damian Williams. But we still have Marlon Mack. I love the idea of taking Marlon Mack here. I love that offense too. Let's go ahead and take him. That's very good. And let's look to the fourth round. Do we want to take... Okay, now here, look at what it's recommending. It's got running backs recommended instead of wide receivers. So we got Derrick Henry, we got Kenyon Drake, we got Kenny Golladay. I love the idea of taking Henry, man. Henry has a lot of stuff going for him this season. If you look next to their names, if you look down here, like Henry's at the top of the list, right? Nobody's better than him with VORC score. 63 VORC points for this round. What's that gold dollar mean? Well, that means it's a contract year. At the end of this season, he's going to get a new contract. How well he plays this season is going to determine the size of that contract. So that man is motivated, all right? Also, this upward arrow, he's got an upward trend in his usage in each of the past 3 seasons. Every season he's seen more carries and more targets than the prior year. That is also what you want to see, and I think they are going to make him the centerpiece of the offense this year. I don't think Marcus Mariota is a very good quarterback, and because of that, they're going to rely on the running game, and they're going to rely on Derrick Henry most of all. So I think he is absolutely our first choice. I do like the idea of taking Kenyon Drake. He also scores very well. He gets 44 VORC points. It is also a contract year for him. He also has an upward trend in his usage. Frank Gore is now gone from that team. So let's see. Is Derrick Henry still available? Let's take a look. Derrick Henry got taken, right? So we are going to go with Kenyon Drake. So let's go ahead and take him. So we've gone ahead and we've taken 3 running backs and 1 wide receiver. We've got, obviously, our elite wide receiver, Adams. We got Mixon, Mack, and Drake as our running backs. I think that's a great start to this league. And it's a shame that Derrick Henry got picked, but you can see his draft position is 43. Our pick is 41. And so it was just close enough that somebody else saw him and just took him a little bit early, right? It happens. Happens every draft. You're going to miss on some players. But what my app is designed to do is it's designed to give you the best idea as to when players are going so you know when you need to target them. So let's jump to the next round. Who do we got in the next round? We got Jarvis Landry. We got Tyler Boyd, Tariq Cohen. Those are our top 3 picks. I do like the idea of going with Jarvis Landry. Pairing up Jarvis Landry with Davante Adams I think is an awesome wide receiver duo. I see Jarvis Landry as a high-end wide receiver 2 with wide receiver 1 upside, all right? He is finally back with his classmate, Odell Beckham Jr. I think they're going to make each other even better, and I love the idea of taking him. Let's look at the running backs also. I mean, obviously, Tariq Cohen is the one getting recommended. We got Mark Ingram here. You know what? That might be a good choice. He's a little bit of a risk. I don't like his outlook just because he's 29 this year and he's moved to a new team. So those are some big strikes against him, but it's a great opportunity in that offense. Miles Sanders, not really interested. Look, he's got a negative score, right? But Mark Ingram is way up there. Kenyon Drake is the long shot. So if we didn't take Kenyon Drake last round, he may or may not make it to this round. So I like Jarvis. I like Ingram. I like Boyd, but I don't really want to go 2 Cincinnati players. Let's just go with the 1. We got Mixon. He's great. So I think those will be our targets. We'll go Ingram first, Landry second, and hopefully one of those guys will be available. So I will pause till we're within 3, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I've queued up Ingram and Landry. If we don't take Landry, I'm just going to really quick check who are the wide receivers on the next round, because it's kind of a short turnaround. Robbie Anderson, okay, obviously we're seeing a drop, right? These are Robbie Anderson, I think, is a solid 2, but he's not going to be a 1, right? Sterling Shepard, Tevin Coleman. Boy, we're really seeing a drop-off right now. I am going to go with the running back. I want my running backs as strong and as diverse as possible. Having 4 running backs in the first 5 picks, I think, is a very good thing to happen. Who knows? Landry might make it to the next round. Does not look likely. Look at where he is, okay? But if he is not available, we got Robbie Anderson, Sterling Shepard, or Tevin Coleman. I do like the idea of Robbie Anderson. I think he's going to be good. He really came on strong last year. I like his rapport with Sam Darnold. I think they're going to be very good this year. I think the Jets are going to be very well improved this year. So let's go with that. And like I said, if Jarvis makes it, we'll take him. If not, we'll take Robbie. I think we'll get one of them. I'm going to pause until we're within 3, and we'll see what's happening. Okay, things are kind of going our way. Landry just got taken. It's like, oh, I think we're going to get him. No, it didn't happen. So we got Robbie Anderson. But let's look at the other players here. I mean, you got Kupp, who I do like, but is an injury risk, right? Tyler Lockett, low-volume pass offense. Don't want anything to do with it. Corey Davis, low-volume pass offense. Don't want anything to do with it. Watkins, injury risk. Calvin Ridley is all right, but that's, I'm not sold on Atlanta this year. They just changed offensive coordinators. Matt Ryan always has a tough time adjusting to new offensive systems. So I don't like the idea of taking him. So we ended up taking Robbie Anderson as our number 2. I think he's a solid wide receiver 2. I think he's a really good choice. And let's jump to the next round and see what the app is recommending. So this round, okay, now look, there's only 2 recommendations. What that means is this is not a great round for players. You got Dede Westbrook, you got Rashad Penny. I think both are decent choices, right? I mean, I think Dede is a solid wide receiver, and we could get him as our number 3. I kind of like the idea of doing that. Rashad Penny is a very speculative pick. He's got some nice upside because of that offense. That's a run-first offense, and I think he's looking to establish himself a bit more. Chris Carson is a low reliability player, so injury risk there might vault him into the starting position. That would be great. We already have we got 4 running backs right now, so this would be our 5th running back. So that's not a bad choice. If I look to the next round, what are we looking at? We're looking at Dak Prescott, Austin Eckler, Peyton Barber. Again, it really starts to thin out. You've really got to focus on guys with upside. I think Penny has a ton of upside that I think we probably want to take advantage of. So let's just jump back here. It is almost our pick. So I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to put in Penny. We'll take him as our 5th running back. I think that's an awesome play there. And Dede is also there. So let's just see who else. Tyler Boyd would be a great choice if he falls to this next round. I think I would take him before anybody, but I doubt he makes it. But we're looking at some of these other options. And again, Tevin Coleman is still sitting there. That's tempting as well. I do like Tevin Coleman. Back with Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan is the man who drafted him. All right, they've already stated that he is the starter in that backfield. And, even though it's a new team and everything, again, we're talking our 5th running back. So I think Tevin Coleman is less speculative than Rashad Penny. But because he was a top 3 recommendation on a prior round, I'm always inclined to take someone like that if he makes it. So let's just see what happens here. I'll put Tevin Coleman on my queue. And it is almost back to us right now. And we'll go ahead and we'll take him. All right. Now we are moving on into the 8th round. Let's take a look and see who's being recommended in the 8th round. We got Dak Prescott, Austin Eckler, Peyton Barber. So those are good choices. I do very much like Dak Prescott. I think he's a QB1 this year, and he offers some value being able to get him this late. That's a good choice. Let's look at tight ends. What tight ends will we have to pick from? Okay, we don't need to worry about tight ends. Eric Ebron is the only long shot. But next round, David Njoku is a good one. Let's see here. Did we already miss on Vance McDonald? We haven't missed on Vance McDonald either. I like the idea of going with one of those guys, so we don't need to take them this round. We already have our guys queued up, and it's a pretty short turnaround. They're both still on the board, Dede Westbrook and Rashad Penny. So I think we should go and get our 3rd wide receiver. One thing I've been having a tendency to do this year is I go way too light on wide receivers. Like I only take 3. I really need to take at least 4. So I think Dede Westbrook, again, solid wide receiver 2, flex option, and I think he would be a good choice. And of course, Penny just got taken. That's not surprising. He was supposed to get taken in the last round, but Westbrook made it. So quick review of who's above him. And again, all these guys have warts, so I like the idea of just going with Westbrook. So now we're heading into the 9th round. And looking here, again, David Njoku, James Washington. I like the idea of going with the Cleveland tight end. I really like that Cleveland offense. We do already have Jarvis. Didn't we take Jarvis? No, we didn't. We didn't take Jarvis Landry. All right. I think we might need to take Njoku. Let's just look at the whole list here. He is, now right here, what this means is he's a reach, which means he would be a long shot in the 10th round, right? So we're taking him a little bit early, but he seems to offer some decent value. I mean, he's He's not a spectacular choice, but he's good. Let's compare that to Vance McDonald. You know, Vance McDonald actually seems better than me, except for his reliability, right? Maybe we don't take a tight end this round. James Washington as our 4th wide receiver, I think that's an excellent choice. There's not a lot of good options this round. You can see only 2 recommendations. And the long shots aren't great. You know, they're down here in the middle of the board towards the bottom. And so those aren't the kind of players that I would be excited if they made it to my round. So I like the idea of Washington. I think that's a great choice as our 4th wide receiver. We can go ahead and grab him. And then I think we should go for Vance Joseph. I'm sorry, not Vance Joseph. Vance McDonald for the following round as our tight end. He's like my favorite late round tight end right now, just because I think his upside is tremendous and he really did well last year. So I see his role growing even further this year with the departure of Jesse James and Antonio Brown. Good stuff there. Good stuff all around. So I'm going to pause till we're within 3, and then we will hopefully get our James Washington. Okay, so it's back to us. So I'm looking at who else is available here, and the one that does speak to me right now is Sterling Shepard, who I think would be a stronger play than James Washington because of his role. So I think I'm going to take Shepard. Should have gone earlier, so he's just kind of hanging out late. But look at his projected points, 183 projected points. And even though I don't love the New York Giants offense, especially with Eli Manning, now that Odell is gone, Shepard has done very well when he is gone. So I'm going to take Shepard this round instead of Washington. And it's a short turnaround, so it should not be any problem for us to grab Vance once it comes back to us. And I'm going to pause till we're within 3. All right, coming back to us now. Vance is still on the board. There are some tight ends ranked ahead of him, but none of them are ones that I would prefer to own. I mean, even look at their projections, right? Vance McDonald has 148 projected points right now. Walker has 144, but the guy's like 36 and coming off a season-ending injury. I doubt he plays, or if he does, he's going to be reduced. You got Chris Herndon, Jack Doyle, Austin Hooper, Kyle Rudolph. Look at their points, much lower than Vance. So let's go ahead. We'll take Vance, and let's move on to the next round. So we are now in round 11, right? We're in heading to round 11. So that was Vance McDonald, the number 2 choice in that round. So we'll go to the round 11, and look, if we wanted, we could get Tom Brady this round, right? I mean, we don't have a quarterback yet. Kyler Murray also. Those are the 2 biggest quarterbacks going this round. We can look at what other quarterbacks. It's just those 2, but they're very highly rated. Tom Brady much more so than Kyler Murray as far as work goes. Because, Kyler Murray is a rookie, right? So we don't know what his reliability and consistency is, so he gets zeros on those. So all you have to go on is his outlook and his value, and he doesn't offer much of either. But if we look to the 12th round, let's look at the quarterbacks that are available. Oh, just Mitch Trubisky. That's not that great. But then the following round, round 13, Phillip Rivers. I think Rivers just gets no respect. No fantasy respect at all. The guy was a top 12 quarterback last year. Here he is dangling around at the 13th round. Likewise, in the 14th round, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was even better than he was even better for points than Rivers. He was 1 point ahead of him. He was like the 11th quarterback, and he's sitting way back here in purgatory. This is his second year on the team. These are both good offenses, man. I mean, I don't know why you would spend an early pick on a quarterback right now, because you don't need to, man. It just doesn't make any sense. So let's just jump back. Now you can see number 3 player, rookie wide receiver, Mecole Hardman, who I very much like, especially with the idea of Tyreek Hill being suspended. It looks like that suspension is not going to be as big as we initially thought, so I don't think his value is as good. What other wide receivers are on this round? There's not a ton. I mean, Curtis Samuel, I think he already got taken, so he's gone. DK Metcalf. Okay, so these are like all the rookies, man. Look, there's a ton of rookies in this round. I do like Nicole just because it is an elite offense, and he would have a role in there. So let's just go. Let's just take him. Let's just take him. Oh, look at that. He got taken already. All right. So let's just look at the list. Oh, shoot. I should have reset this after the last pick. You know what? I'm just going to take... I didn't plan that well. I apologize. I just took Royce Freeman just for the heck of it. Just because I ran out of time and Nicole was gone. Let's look at the next round, all right? So we got a couple of tight ends. We don't need a tight end now. Los Angeles Chargers, we wanted to go for that defense. Very good defense. Let's look at all the players. Is there anybody here? Austin Hooper. Oh, well, again, that's a tight end, right? Trubisky. Boy, not just Darrell Henderson. You know what? Let's target him. Even though he has negative, he's got a negative VORC score, because he's not projected to have much value. His value rank is 239th. But, he plays behind Gurley, and Gurley's having all those health issues. I hope it lets us take that, though, although we might have reached our limit for running backs. I think I've got 6 now. It's not going to let me take one, is it? Yeah, we've taken 6. So we cannot take any more running backs. So we got to take our last spot. Let's just go with quarterback, right? Let's just grab our quarterback. We'll get our favorite. And even though, are there any wide receivers that really speak to us here in this round? Again, look, it's a bunch of 1- and 2-star outlooks. These players don't have good outlooks for this season. So what about in the 13th round? Is there better options? No. 14th round? No. Boy, there's just not great options for wide receivers. So let's just go quarterback. We're going to go ahead and filter for quarterback. It's almost our pick anyway. So we got Roethlisberger, we got Lamar Jackson, Garoppolo, Trubisky, Prescott. Prescott's available much later than he normally is. Let's take him. So we'll go ahead and we'll grab him. And Brandon doesn't take his entire 30 seconds here. And he is taking his full 30 seconds. All right, let's go ahead and take him. Let's go. Whoop, sorry about that. Let's see. All right, so let's jump back. 13th round. We've already got our quarterback now. We don't need another quarterback. Buffalo Bills defense is the defense to take. You know what? We could just go and take our favorite defense. Look, Minnesota Vikings should still be available. Let's see. If we wait till the 14th round, New England Patriots. Patriots are kind of like one of my favorite defenses. I usually just stream defenses, but New England has a great early season schedule. Like for the first 4 weeks are all awesome matchups, including starting with the Steelers on the road in their home stadium. Ben never does well when he's on the road. I think there's going to be lots of opportunities there for that defense. Let's just look at what defenses are still on the board. So, okay, and it looks like Minnesota's already gone. So, that's fine. So, oh boy, is New England already gone? Boy, I think a whole bunch of defenses have come off the board. Yeah, they sure did. How about Dallas? Dallas is still there. Or was it? I just saw it. Here's Dallas. I'm going to look and see who is on the board right now, if there's anybody of interest. Let's see. Miles Sanders. Well, again, we can't take another running back. Kareem Hunt. Again, another running back. You can't take him. Oh, look at that. What? Deion Lewis is still available. We can't take him. Again, we've already got our 6. I don't think it has that restriction once you get into an actual live draft on Yahoo. They don't have that position restriction, and you can load up as much as you want. But I'm not positive about that. There's James Washington. He's still available. Let's take him. Almost back to us. And Come on, any day. There we go. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to just pause for the final 2 picks, which are going to be defense and kicker, and we'll come back and we'll review the team. All right, so we're all done. So I ended up getting Dallas as my defense. Again, great early season schedule for Dallas. Our kicker is Jason Myers of Seattle, so I think that's a decent choice. Again, I tend to stream kickers as well. But let's review the team, all right? So I got Dak Prescott as my quarterback. I do like that. Wide receivers, Davante Adams, Robbie Anderson, who else do we have? D.D. Westbrook, Sterling Shepard, and James Washington. I do very much like that wide receiver core. Running backs, Joe Mixon, Marlon Mack, Kenyon Drake, Mark Ingram, Tevin Coleman. Again, excellent. Good depth on both of those positions. Very happy with that. My tight end is Vance McDonald. And so all in all, rock solid team, man. I'm super happy with this team. 8th is kind of a difficult draft position because you're not going to get any of the super elite players as far as the running backs. But I think we ended up with a very fine team, very competitive team. This will definitely make the playoffs. And again, but you're not done at the draft. You just got to manage your team, and you need a little bit of luck. But all these guys that I picked, none of them have big injury issues. Most of them have been very reliable over the course of their NFL career, with the possible exception of Vance McDonald. Right, he's obviously my weakest link, and it might have made sense for me to take a second tight end because of that, but I'm not going to worry about it. So I think we got a good team here. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And of course, please go to my website, fantasyfootballmaverick.com. Check out the app for yourself. If you like it, you can subscribe to it, get full access to all the features. And this is absolutely going to give you the edge come draft day. It's going to give you the right information at the right time. So thank you very much for watching. Have a good night, everybody.